Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday to
Hi.
you. And please help me welcome the beautiful Debbie from Three Shifting Gales. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
happy to be here.
Oh, well, we finally
Thank you.
made it. You're welcome, dear. We chatted, I think it was the end of September, and you were going away in October, and then one thing after another, but we did make it, and I'm so happy to be here with you and all the people coming in on the chat. So, yeah. So I hope everybody is having a good day. I was telling Debbie backstage that I had to cancel my shows yesterday because my fibro was so bad. And Debbie said she understands because she has it too. So some of you also in the chat, I know you do. So I'm glad to be able to feel a little bit better today and be here with you. And I love all the blue in your tablecloth there. It's so pretty. And of course,
Calm.
it is very calming and it speaks to communication. You know,
Oh.
it's your third, your
Mm-hmm.
throat chakra. So your joints are achy, Annie. Yeah, well, fortunately for Debbie, she lives in a warmer climate. I don't know if that helps you. Probably.
It does. I think that's probably why I can't stand the cold.
Right, right. Well, I don't mind it except when it really gets bad. And we've had rain here for, well, we always have in the winter. We always have rain, but this has been relentless, and so yeah. So it's kind of tough, and in the middle of final papers and stuff. So anyway, enough about me. Today we're here to talk with Debbie, and we're going to talk about her journey, some really fascinating things that she's done in her past. Doo, doo, doo.
A lot of
And
weird things that happened.
we're here to tell you about something that might be coming up with the two of us that I want her to do after the first of the year when things calm down. And we'll also do some mini readings for you. So how about all that? So I want to welcome Brenda T. Imagine. It's wonderful to see you.
Hi,
Ascending
Brenda.
Butterfly, Annie Bear. And it's great to have you. And how is it down in Oregon, Brenda? Or is that where you are? Maybe you're not there. I'm thinking of someone else. Sarah's here. Sonia's here. Um, let's see. Edward's here. I see Edward. It's
I'm
wonderful
not
to see
getting any of the people on here. I don't
you.
see it.
You don't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the banner. I think if I, no, it's not under banners. It's under, there's a way I can put it up on the screen, but you're far away from the screen. So yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes people just use their this isn't your
that's what
cell
I'm going to
phone.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
And
going
just
to
turn the volume down. That's all. Cause it doesn't, yeah. So Leah is here and, who else? CJ is here. And oh, you're in Missouri. You're having a warm spell. Well, good for you. I love it. I'm sorry, Brenda. I was thinking that you were somebody, another person, somebody else. All right. Mary Susan coming in from the Canary Islands off of Spain. Welcome, welcome. Rossi, another Floridian for us. Yes. Um, Cheryl
do.
Manolo. Yeah. Can you see it now, Debbie?
Yep, I have it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. It's way to the top. Oh, okay. Way to the top. Show comments on stage.
It's okay. I have it on my phone now. I
Call
can
in
see it.
medium.
Hi, Rossi. Annie Bear.
There it
Ascending.
is. Yeah. There. Now we got it. Thank you, Annie. I only used it a couple times, and because a lot of people that are on the show with me, they can't see it anyway. So yeah, the cell phone always makes it a little bit better. But thank you for reminding me and letting me know. Yeah. Thank you. Lots of bells and whistles coming in here, more so than before. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here. And hello, Alexandria Bellino. Nice to see you. Why won't that go away? All right, here we go. God, I've been away one day and I've lost my mind. Anyway, yes, we'll be pulling some cards later. So you know, if you would like to be read later. But first, we're going to talk about Debbie. And I don't think a lot of people understand what three shifting veils means. And I found out what it means. And I am so excited about it. So, Debbie tell you all about her job, which was at Busch Gardens in Tampa, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I was a belly dancer and snake charmer, and I love dancing with the veils. I used to have a way where I had three different color veils between my fingers, and as I turned, I would twist my fingers and have a different color veil come out. And
Ooh,
I used to love doing that. So when I was trying to think of a name, when I was, deciding to go on, have a handle on YouTube, even
right.
before I even before I had a channel, just, have a name.
Yeah.
My guides kept saying three shifting veils because not only the shifting veils of when I was dancing, but the veils of what's going on with the energy, the changing of all the
Oh, yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with the name. They told me three shifting veils. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know it's perfect. It's perfect. And then the fact that I think when we met back before, when we were talking before, did you take belly dancing lessons? Do you,
Yeah, when I was about 14,
oh, 14.
my
Okay.
cousin talked me into it. She started taking it for exercise, and I thought that sounds like a fun exercise, and I loved exercise.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
I started doing it as exercise. And then after I got married, I was working at Busch Gardens and found out you make more money as a performer. And of course,
Mhm.
newlyweds, you
Yeah.
need money if you want to have a family.
Sure.
So I became a dancer.
And I would imagine, of course, you're using your hips. I mean, I know you use other parts of
Mhm.
your body when you're doing it, but did that make giving birth to babies easier? I'm wondering.
Yes, because you're strengthening. That's one of the whole purpose. Belly dance is the dance of life
Yes.
because you're preparing all the muscles for labor.
Right.
So
Right.
it does help.
Oh, wow. I just thought of that. I mean, that would be like the best Lamaze anybody could do to prep for something like that. Yeah.
It also
That's
helps if the children are very cooperative and they don't do a
well,
flip,
that's true. That's true. Yeah. When you got a breech birth, it's not any fun. Yeah. That's very true. Yes. Rossi, a strong core. Absolutely. I know when I did the martial arts, when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, just that tatien in the stomach and how you could use that really does build up core. And so, yeah, that's what you were using.
Yeah, I
That's
took karate also up until I was allowed to stop right before I had to take the test for black belt. That was the agreement I had with my dad. He made me learn karate before I was allowed to date. So I started learning it earlier before I was old enough to date so that when I could date, I wouldn't have to start learning.
that is so cool. I can't believe that. I had no idea. And you want to know the real funny thing is that um, my fibros kicked in really bad just before I was to be tested for my brown belt. So
Oh,
I was all but brown belt and it was in Kempo or um, Chinese, like jujitsu. We did a lot
yeah.
of that. So he wouldn't pay anymore for you to get a black belt.
I
That's
didn't,
fun.
yeah, I didn't, well, no, it wasn't that. I didn't want to be
No.
registered. And when you
Mm,
become a black belt, you have to register.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at
Makes
least that's
sense.
how it was back in the
Back
70s.
in the day, yeah, back in the
Yeah.
day.
So
For me, it
I
was
didn't
the
want to.
80s. It was about 85 that I started doing it. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mine
But
was in the
well,
70s and you had to register
had to
after you
register.
performed and became a black belt. I didn't want to do that.
Well, I don't blame you, but that's a wonderful segue into this belly dancing idea. So anyway, all right. So let's go back a little further. When were you first interested, or what happened to you that made you interested in the spiritual path or your gifts?
I was really born that way. I was the weird one in the family that people like, shh, don't talk about that, and shh, and stuff like
Oh,
that.
dear. Uh-huh.
Um, Apparently, when I could start talking, I was having a fit because my hair was the wrong color.
Oh, okay.
And um, and I was also crying for my sister, which I was the first child.
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the only female born on one side of the whole family. So no one knew
Sure,
what I
sure.
was talking about. And my parents ended up getting me a little blonde wig when I was little so that I would stop getting upset and pulling my hair
Oh,
saying it's wrong.
oh,
And when they brought home my first brother, my little brother, I looked at him and said, "That's not my sister." And they're like, "Well, yeah, that's your little brother, you know."
right.
And
Yeah.
but I was so insistent on wanting my sister that they even started looking into adoption. And then my mom realized she was pregnant. So when she brought home my baby brother, I looked at him and I said, "That's my sister." And they're like, "No, that's your brother." "No, that was my sister." And
Did they
what
get the connection with, because it doesn't sound like they wanted you to shut up. They really tried with the wig and everything to
Well,
make,
yeah, but I
yeah.
think it was to shut me up, because
Oh,
I'm
okay.
one of those
Okay.
kind of kids that, I was
Yeah.
nonstop,
Right. Right. Okay.
but it wasn't until later that I was able to really communicate, that I was able to talk about, my dreams were always of dying as other people, even as a child. So that's what I was talking about when I was saying my hair's the wrong color, because
Right.
I was seeing one of my past lives that were very important to this life.
I
And
see.
I was seeing the death of that life over and
Uh-huh.
over.
Right.
And so I was
Wow.
wanting my sister from that time period.
Mhm.
And, but all my dreams growing up, majority of them were dying as someone else, somewhere else, so
Your
death,
past lives. Yeah.
yeah. So I grew up knowing those, but I didn't know what it was. I
Uh-huh.
didn't learn what it was till I was in third grade. And, or no, the beginning of fourth grade. By third grade, I was kicked out of the family's Southern Baptist church. And then I was kicked out of the other side of the family's Presbyterian church. And then I started, my fourth grade English teacher got me into reading mythology, because I was
Uh-huh.
already over all the books that she had for the elementary school. And
Okay.
that's how I realized where I was when I started looking into mythology. I found out about reincarnation, and then I
Okay.
started understanding things.
Wow. So
Or fourth
you
grade.
were still remembering things, though, into the fourth grade from the past. Is that right? Or
Um, Actually, it stayed all the way
it's
up
me? Oh,
till I
hmm.
stopped dreaming about dying as someone else on other planets. Oh, probably almost 30, when I was almost 30.
Oh, wow, Debbie.
And
Wow.
now it's only happened a few times to remind me of something that I had
Uh-huh.
closed off from back then, like
Mm-hmm.
like my last dying on another planet. I
Mm-hmm.
had forgotten about that one because it only happened a couple times and I didn't understand it and pushed it
Mm-hmm.
away. And that happened not too long ago. I had it again and realized, oh, okay, now I understand what's going on.
Okay. Wow. Um, that's amazing because does it, when you're dying, does it bring you into the lessons learned, or you just never get that far?
Um, it's like I'm living the last few moments of that time.
Right.
And then right as the death starts happening, I'm viewing it from above.
Okay. Okay.
It's like when I was stoned to death, I was there for the first few rocks, and then for the rest of it, I was viewing it from a distance.
And that is what other things that I've read said. You can actually, you leave your spirit leaves your body, and you don't feel the pain of what's coming, especially if it's like being stoned or something by
Mm-hmm.
people. Yeah. Wow. That, what an interesting story. I mean, and even I'm learning even more than I learned the first time. Wow. So, all right. So that happened. So you had to try to integrate that with getting married, raising children, working, and all that other stuff. I know, and I'm just going to say it right now because what Debbie does also is tea leaves, which not very many people here have that in their repertoire. But we were talking backstage that to read for everyone, tea leaves for everyone, would be impossible because you're supposed to shake them and do all this thing, and then you need more water and blah, blah, blah. So when we come back next year, I'm going to have her do a tea leaf reading for us, but it will be like for the collective. So
Try an experiment.
try an experiment. That's right. So tell us about the other things that you've gotten into within the metaphysical realm.
Well, with my family, we do have the knowing, but it was hushed up.
Okay.
My grandmother married a Southern Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it had to be hushed up.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right. She was a plant whisperer. So she was very disappointed that I was not a plant whisperer. When she found out I was, she caught me leaving my body because I used to travel all the time. I hated naps. So I would travel. And then one day I woke up and she was sitting there and I hadn't had a good landing. You know, when you jump up because you just didn't land right. She was sitting there waiting for me. And oh my word. She knew how to put the guilt trip on and everything about leaving the body and dangerous. And she put on blockages to stop me from being able to do that, at will.
Sure. Well, you were a little girl then, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
But I never felt danger. I knew there was always someone with me, I felt. So I never felt danger. But so yeah, she was a plant whisperer. She was it was something that Grandpa never realized. He just thought she had a green thumb and stuff like that, and that she just loved plants.
Yeah.
But he was never there to witness when she would say good morning. Even if there was no breeze, the plant would just start moving. I mean, she was connected.
Wow. Would the plants, would they tell her like if they needed water and stuff, or?
Yeah, she just automatically knew what they needed, and
she knew
they were it was great. I wish I would have had that.
I know. I could use that here in the garden for some things that are withering away.
But I was like a magnet for anything weird, and that's what scares is. Just if anything weird was going to happen, it was going to be me.
It was going to be
family.
You. Yeah. With your little brother, who was your little sister, did he get that connection? Did he feel that connection?
We always had a connection. I would dream travel over and with him, and I saw a lot of his dreams. And if we're under the same roof, he always dreamt about music most of the time. And he's one of those that he has books of pages that he's written music. But if I was in the same house with him, I would get the words. He would have the music, but the words would come to me. We just never knew it until much later when he was stationed in Germany, and my mom and I went to visit him, and we had to stay in the same little place. And he woke up humming some music and writing it down, and I started telling him the words that go to the music. But that only happened that one time. After that, we haven't been, we've.
But if you were in proximity, you might be able to still do that. Obviously, you never know. Yeah.
Could have. Yeah.
And he still writes music? Does he still?
I really don't. I don't know. It's like after military, people change.
Yeah, I know.
And I had to kind of cut that cord. I realized it was part of the lesson I was to learn in this lifetime is when to go.
Right.
And so that was part of my major lesson.
That is wonderful. And you brought him in. I mean, you really did. You didn't want to wait any longer. And I love that. Alexandra says she had a friend who jumped her body and watched herself go through the windshield and never felt it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, this is great. This is,
my mom watched herself give birth to me.
Oh, wow. Really?
So you can leave your body. I was in an accident once, and for that split second, I left my body at the first hit and then came back. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a protection for you. That's amazing. So have you done, you do read cards. What else, do you do any other besides, and the tea leaves?
I used to do runes a lot. I haven't done them in a while. I'm trying to get back into them. But I used to do runes. In fact, runes are what got me onto the path of doing the cards and stuff like that.
Me too.
I had nightmares when I was little that weren't of dying. and I would draw them out to try to get rid of them when I was little.
Yeah.
And we used to go to North Carolina for vacation every summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always have the nightmare after we got back. And it was a light in the sky, and we have to get away from the light. And we're getting out of the car, we're running into the woods. And then when we come back, there's 3 symbols burned into the road. And I never understood it, and
Right.
the dreams were horrifying because I'd also have dreams of someone in a tall, white, long coat chasing me with the largest hypodermic needle I've ever seen. And everybody around me would be frozen like statues, and I'm trying to get away. So I hated those nightmares. But it was while I was a dancer, a friend had a book on runes, and I saw that, and I was like, could I see that? I just felt drawn, and I opened it up, and there were the runes. There were 3 runes, and those were the markings from my childhood in the road.
Wow.
And so that's why I got into runes, and then from runes I went into cards, and that's how I got onto that.
And that's how you get into all the other things. That is amazing. Swampy, you started with runes as well. I started with, excuse me, I started with the clay ones, I guess. They were marked clay with the number, with the symbol in them. And I love them. And there are reverse meanings. But my thing was that I didn't want to have to read from a book to get the, you know what I mean? I thought that would be a waste for people to listen. But I loved it for my own guidance. And that led me to the I Ching, which is the same type of thing, which is 6 symbols. And you figure out those symbols as well and how they are. So.
Yeah, I used to have them memorized, but my memory's not good through medication and stuff like that. But I made my own runes.
You did?
When in North Carolina, when my husband and I, when we took our 2 oldest when they were real young, we went to North Carolina for a vacation, and we stopped at the side of a mountain where there was a nice stream, and I felt I had to get some stone from there. Sure. And so I went up into the woods along that stream, and I collected the stones from inside the stream, and that's where I made my runes.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I did the same thing. I didn't make anything out of it, but they were round, flat stones that were river stones. I love them, and that sounds like exactly what you are getting as well. Wowee! That's fabulous.
I got Nancy Jean's Crystal Garden.
Yes.
So I've been working with that a lot.
Wow. Oh my God. Your brother who passed away in 2002 had runes. I have them in. Donna, you may want to open them up, and your brother may want to communicate with you through the runes. You never know. That's wonderful. Alexandria asks you, do you use traditional symbols, or did you create your own? Did you use the regular rune?
I used the regular ones because those were what I had seen when I was a child, burned into the road in that dream, in the nightmare, or the regular runes. Right. So that's the ones I stayed with when I created my runes.
Did you remember a Viking or a Nordic lifetime?
No, that's why it was just the oddest thing those symbols burned into the road in that nightmare. And then in the 80s, early 80s, a friend opens up a book and there's those runes, so that's the runes I stayed with.
Absolutely. And it's all about, I don't know, the message comes, and that really burned into your memory, those 3 symbols. The message comes, but you weren't ready for the total message until just that moment. And that's what I love about divine timing. It's so
many
awesome.
years later.
Many years later, but never too late,
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Donna, I'm glad you do use them occasionally. What's really interesting about the runes, guys, my mother and father were pretty open to me being metaphysical, but I didn't have the things you've had in your life where I've, seen my past and said things like that. But I remember one Christmas, and I believe it was 1974 or something like that. My mother gave myself and my friend at the time a necklace for Christmas that was gold, and it was a rune.
Oh, wow.
And I wish I could find, I don't know which one it was. I can't remember, but my friend Denise, who got it, she was so excited about it. Look at the runes. And I heard about them, but I never thought anything more about them until they came out, and they were out, in the bookstores or in the metaphysical stores later on in the 90s. And that's when I got them. But I guess my mother was preparing us for what was to come. I don't know.
Wow,
But
that's
yeah,
nice.
it is nice. It was wonderful. Hello, Akila. Hello, Dr. Ann. Hello, Jen. Hello, Barbara. Thank you all for being here, Sonia. We are talking with Debbie from Three Shifting Veils, who has had such a wonderful, interesting spiritual adventure life.
It's been an adventure, yeah.
It has been an adventure. Yeah. Are you drawn more to tarot or oracle cards when you do any readings?
The oracle cards are what really gets me.
Me too.
I feel that more of a connection to, because it's like you feel the emotions from the certain cards.
Right.
They have different meanings. And I mean, in a way, it's kind of like I used to do dream interpretations.
Right.
And and also like tea leaf, you're going by shapes and the emotions that are coming from those shapes are causing you to have thoughts that need to be expressed. I don't know how
Right.
to.
No, I do get it. I do get it. That's it. It was to me, and it doesn't have to be this way, but to me, it felt like you have to know more about the tarot and how it works and what the story is behind it and where it fits and how it fits together with this card.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like astrology. I love it, but I don't have mathematical whiz skill to do it. And I don't have a problem with the major arcana for the most part, but it's all the other cards that throw me. So when I started working with the oracle cards, they just boom, 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 and the messages that I got and still get, and I can pull a card for you and it would mean this, but the energy of the same card for somebody else means something different. So yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome.
It's like,
So
well, when I do the tarot, I have
mhm,
the ones that have a lot of the
the
meanings
messages
on
on
it,
them.
a
Yeah,
lot of that. And then whatever one seems to strike me first when I see the picture is the
right.
one I'll go towards.
Yep, I totally get it. I totally get it. Sometimes it's just the bird in the background,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the little
Yeah.
black cat sitting in front of
A
the
little
drawing.
black cat. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Alexandra says she had a flash of the Thuris's symbol several months ago and knew nothing of the runes. But you knew that it was? Did you know it was a rune, Alexandra, sorry. I'm wondering how you found out what it meant when you had it. I think it's very cool. Swampy says also she makes sigils that can represent. Have you ever heard of
Mm-hmm.
sigils? Yes.
Yes.
I know that Diana Bowles uses sigils a lot in her practice. And I was doing, I do this when I was just doodling. And probably I should go back and look at all those old doodles. They probably
Mm-hmm.
mean something because they would doodle, doodle, doodle all the time. And I don't do it as much because I'm not sitting and listening to a lot anymore. But yeah, those could probably be considered to be sigils.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking about that's something I've been considering. I got so many things I want to do, but sigils, putting them on like little shells and making stuff like well, like my pendulum that I made. This one I call her the gardener.
I
And
love that. That's adorable. Yeah, so everybody needs to know too that you can use a necklace for a pendulum. You don't have to have a pendulum.
oh no, no,
Or you could, yeah,
yeah.
go
When I
ahead.
was little, I didn't even think about that, but I don't know where it came from, but I remember a friend of mine spent the night. We were like in, it was probably third grade. It was right, yeah, and end of second or beginning of third grade, and I would just get the needle and put it on a piece of thread because I used
Yeah,
to do hand sewing to make my own doll clothes.
right.
and I would put the needle and hold it up and ask questions. And I never even thought of why.
Well, remember back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, that sometimes you would ask a reader to tell you if you're going to have a boy or a girl, because
Yeah.
you never knew. And they did that around the stomach, didn't they? They held it
Yeah.
over like a woman's pregnant stomach. And
So
I
I
don't know
must
if
have
they were
seen
all
someone
accurate.
do that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't know my daughter was going to be a daughter until she was born. My son, I did have an ultrasound, so we did know, but you didn't know back in the early 70s or even the later 70s. It was more in the 80s that you could figure it out. Dr. Ann, you love the narrative of tarot, but it's a craft and a talent. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It is.
It takes more time, whereas I really do believe it's it isn't. It isn't easy for everybody, but if you have a background in symbolism, it helps you in all card readings. But like in the dream interpretation, and I've asked Debbie to come on the show as well. We want to bring her on the dream show with us and talk with her there. But, it's what something means to you that's the most important thing, and not what it means, in the general sense.
Because
Yeah.
you can take a general thing like the snake, knowledge, shedding skin and growth and all that.
Yeah.
But it could also be fears for someone else.
It could be.
So
Right.
you can take that general idea, find out, talk to them, then find out more about, oh, okay, so you experience this symbol more this way. So it could be a little bit of this, but mostly heading towards that.
Yes, because that's what it means to you. The same thing with the Kundalini rising. It could mean that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a medical caduceus.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the
Yeah,
caduceus.
for the
So
knowledge.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. There's so many different things it could mean. But what do you think it means? That's always
Right.
my question. And I love that, because you have the power to figure it out. We can talk about it though. Also, you just looked up pictures. Well, I love that. And it led you to what the rune was. That is wonderful. Hello, Jules. Hello, Nat Milo. Yeah. Your mother did that needles for pregnancy? Oh, that's great. Oh my God. That is wonderful. Yeah, they are. They are. Thank you, everybody, for your wonderful comments. And you're right, Dr. Ann. Different divination tools suit different people. Yes, absolutely. And when we were talking about, I have two decks of tarot cards that really speak to me. One of them is Deb Zacco's deck, which is Clarity Tarot. She's got some stuff at the bottom too, but I only read them face up. That's me. And I love the Osho Zen Tarot. It reads like an oracle deck. It doesn't read like a tarot deck. And I think that's why. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, you are absolutely right. And Lulu, tarot is interpretive as well. If you're very intuitive, you pick up on things that aren't always obvious by the cards. Oh,
These are my favorite ones. These are the ones I was
the
first.
psychic tarot. Okay.
That was the first one I was drawn to.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It isn't obvious by the card you're looking at, by the horror story that's being built. Yeah, it's like the Three of Swords. It's like the Tower. It's like the Nine of Swords. Sometimes they have a different meaning than the original meaning. Yeah. And symbolism for each yeah, absolutely. Linda Bishop, you learned the needle? Yeah. All right. It does work. Well, it's good to know. Thanks. Wow. I love it. I love it. So we're a little bit halfway through the show. And of course, anybody has any questions for Debbie, Debbie's story is, I could sit and listen to, she's got a lot more stuff that she just hadn't been able to even
I've had a weird life.
She has, but it's so interesting. And so many of us, this sounds crazy probably, but so many of us are, I wouldn't say we're jealous, but maybe we pushed it away. Because sometimes when we are in fear of something, it doesn't sound like you had any fear at all. You came in here to do the work and you weren't fearful. And
Well,
your
that's
parents.
not quite. The fear
Oh.
hit me. The fear hit me after I had my first son. Right when I had my first child, that's when the fear started. I started holding back because I mean, when you have a little baby that, they're your world, and you have to be there for them. And then some
Right.
weird stuff starts happening. You're like, oh, people will lock me away if they hear about this. So you kind of like, no, I'm not ready for that right now.
Right. Right. I
So
understand.
I
No, I do
did
understand.
kind of close down for a while I had children.
But you didn't when you were a child. That was my really what I meant. Like when you're pushing it away because you have to raise a family or whatever it is you need to do. That's all understandable. For me, I've only had maybe one or two experiences that come anywhere close to what you're talking about, and I've talked about them before. One of them was through my son, and he had the gift right away, but he's 41 now. He didn't interested at all. But I did take him and his sister once he got to about third or fourth grade, and we went to a medicine wheel. We went to a spiritualist church. We did all this stuff that, and we wore crystals. We talked about crystals. He loved them. He thought they were wonderful, but he shut down, and maybe he was opening up and didn't want to be in that.
My oldest is 40, and he wanted to be normal. He had
Uh-huh.
wonderful gifts, but he
Yeah.
wanted to be normal. And then he was in a deadly accident, and they were able
Oh,
to bring him back. And I think his wanting to shut down the gifts happened when he had the accident, because
oh,
that's when he was able to finally push everything away and try to be normal, like
okay.
something normal.
Wow. It was a different kind of wake up call, I guess.
Yeah.
I did this all before. Now this is me going forward, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. You can't arrive without traveling in life. That's for sure. That's for sure. Debbie certainly gave me a greater appreciation and respect for the belly dancing craft. I can call dance of life now. That's beautiful. I agree with you. I mean, I've watched them before, not on TV or whatever, and I'm always amazed by the beauty of the movement and the fact that these women can shake certain parts of their body that mine don't shake that way, and yeah, it's true.
I used to, when I was dancing, when you're not having to do the same dance with a whole group of people, but when you're doing your
Uh-huh.
own thing, I used to create stories in my head. So as I
Hmm.
was dancing, I was telling a story.
Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. I love that. That's J Cat Lady. I use my pendulum all the time. My pendulum says DJT will leave December 15th. There's a lot of people who seem to agree with you. Yeah, there are. Yeah. Uh, Certainly, this week has been an interesting week uh, in the capital of our country. Hello,
It's going to
Kim.
get more interesting too, unfortunately.
I think it will. It will get
Yeah.
more interesting. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, let's see. Oh, thank you, Ascending Butterfly. You pushed it away, Anita, and you regret it. So now you're trying to get it all back. Think about this, honey. I think I was 65 when I finally decided to get it all back. And that was 5 years ago. And that's when I opened my channel. And the changes that I've been through in my life and the gifts that have come into my life and meeting people like yourself and also those in the chat and people opening channels and all of those things. It's all when you're ready. You can look at Grandma Moses started painting at 90, but I had to push it away too because I had to make a living or raise my children or deal with a divorce or deal with whatever it is, So, yeah, we're all here together to empower each other. One thing I do want to mention, a little plug. Those of you who have seen Pam Drennan on my channel, Pam does the clearings and the calibrations, spiritual calibrations for us. She is having a inner child release and clearing reading, if you want one, on Zoom this Monday with me. And I've only got 2 people signed up so far. I'm just asking for a small donation for her because she does so much for the community, you know, $5 or something. And I will send you the link if you're interested. It is from 12 to 2, and you don't have to stay the whole time if you don't want, but it's from 12 to 2 Pacific, which is what, 3 to 5 Eastern, right? Yeah. And I think you can figure it out. But I have it on my community page if you're interested. She has a Venmo. I have a PayPal, and all her money will go to her. So thanks, everybody. Let me know. All right. At this point, you don't care where he goes. He just needs to go. Well, I agree. Yes. Your pendulum really wants to work with you. Several months ago, you had a reading that said, we will be happy and thankful by Thanksgiving. Looks like they're unraveling. Anybody have any kind of comment about that? I'm feeling better today than I did last week. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Thanksgiving gatherings are going to be very interesting. I think we've gotten to the point where there are those who are starting to wake up on the other side.
Uh-huh.
And some of them aren't quite ready to admit that they were wrong. So they're going to be very blustery, and both sides think. They're going to attack both sides come Thanksgiving. Yeah. Instead of we're so great, it's going to be they both, suck, Yeah. I think it's going to be kind of that energy.
That
not
energy.
So much attacking you, but attacking now all the politicians.
Well, and after the revelation, of course, this isn't just the Epstein thing isn't just a Republican issue. So yes, this is where draining the swamp really comes in. It comes in with all the dirt bags, and it doesn't matter what side they're on. Yeah.
Energy is energy.
Energy is energy. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Donna has a question for you. What is your take on recurrent or recurring dreams? She's had several, but not so much now.
Well, definitely keep a journal, because I write mine down too. Keep a journal, because you might remember something one part of the dream a little different than the next time, little bits and pieces, and they become like a puzzle that you'll be able to put together. A lot of times it's they're not always about telling the future. Sometimes they're about helping you remember something from the past.
Yeah. And that could even be past lives, because you came here for a specific reason, and maybe you're a little bit off your path and they're trying to put you back on it. Remember, you were going to work on this. There's all that too. That's great advice, Debbie. That's great. I agree with you. And I totally agree with writing them down. And the ones that you really remember that are really, really clear, those are ones that are really trying to tell you something, because you wouldn't remember it as well. Because a lot of them are, I remember when I was learning about dreams, there was a thing called spaghetti dreams. And basically what it meant was you had too much spaghetti last night before you went to bed. And so your dream is just sort of all over the place and just trying to clear out the day, So, but, most of the time it definitely has a really good message.
Yeah, sometimes you're just clearing out emotional energy that you don't need anymore, and letting go of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Kim, it's a lighter energy today. I agree with you. And the reason I do is because I told my husband and I got in a fight, and I said, we got to take the dogs out on a leash to go to the bathroom. Now, of course, they're in a fenced in area. So he's very obstinate about, I'm not going out in the rain. I'm not going to do that. And then the dogs will go in the house. And so we got in a real bad way about that. And so he went and took one of the dogs for dog training. He comes home and he says to the trainer, I have to go home and tell my wife she was right. And he says that all the time, but he doesn't believe it when I say it. Isn't that, I guess that's a husband and wife thing. I don't know. You're feeling an energy shift, Barbara. Well, that's absolutely wonderful. No expectations for the holidays. Yeah. Hi, Share Spirit. Glad to have you here. Grace and happiness grows from the inside, and we have to tend that garden. It isn't easy. Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Cher. Yeah. Yep. There is a feeling of positive anticipation. I think that we just need some positive stuff in our lives to be revealed. We aren't asking for the moon all at once. We're asking for the little piece of cheese on the right side of the moon, you know? So
I've been thinking of them like the other side, as toddlers, little children that are crawling, and they want everything, demand everything. And right now we're at the part where they're standing up and starting to take that first step, and they're going to keep falling and getting angry until they get up and start running. And that's where we're at
yes.
right now. And the energy is they're starting to stand up.
Yep.
But they just haven't quite gotten the feet.
Quite gotten there
really.
yet. Yeah. I did read that there's a town somewhere there's only like 5,000 people in it. I don't know where it is. It's in a red state, I think, but they all voted for, and they all got together. I don't know. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and burned all the hats and the flags that said anybody's name on them.
Wow.
I don't know now if they'll claw that back later, but I don't think every single person did it, but there was a large contingent of people that did.
It would have been better if they'd have buried it, but.
Well, no, but it was an American flag. It was, the one with his name on it. Yeah, that one. So, yeah. Yes. Please come to the dream show, anybody. And like I said, Debbie will probably come on.
Fun.
Yeah, they are fun. Yeah.
They're very fun. And if you're not having dreams, listening to other people will start making you subconsciously want to remember your dreams, and you'll start remembering them.
You will. And I know that some people have also, men in particular, not always, some women dream in black and white, interestingly enough. And you know what I was thinking at first when they told me that was, well, they probably grew up with black and white TV. Now that's ridiculous because
we had black and white TV. I always dreamt in colors.
Yeah, you wanted that color TV, see? Oh, you're not planning a Christmas? I'm not really doing it either, but I've already started wearing my Christmas shirts and earrings and all that because I'm not a big Thanksgiving person, although I will certainly enjoy giving thanks for the blessings that I have in my life and everyone else's. So, yeah. Oh, this is interesting. The federal prison camp is in Bryan, 14 miles for your bus. You know what? I heard that the people that let her use the prison email all were let go.
Oh, wow. Great.
They were let go. Yeah. They weren't supposed to do that. Yeah. You always ask that what is hidden and harmful is revealed and that we become aware. Thank you, Rossi. I agree with you. I do. Because there is a lot there. I don't like to focus on evil things, but sometimes it's important for us to flesh that out, flesh it out and move into something else.
Yeah, you have to see it, understand it, and get rid of it.
That's right. That's right. You're strong enough to stand by and be in your truth. You move forward. It has to be this way. I'm stuck. I need to bring it up to start new. You're scared, but you're still standing. Are you talking about your spiritual gifts, Laura, that you're strong enough to stand up? Or are you talking about standing up to your truth in general in the culture and things like that?
Either way, it's both scary.
It is both scary. Both things are. You're absolutely right, Debbie. I know I went to one of the No Kings, and I was dressed as an alien, and and everybody loved it. And I thought to myself, it really, illegal aliens, yeah. And but there were people that weren't very nice as well, going by in cars, and I just thought, well, that's their opinion.
I live in Central Florida, very, very red state. And we actually had, our crowd was 3 times larger than it was the last time. And we had less people trying to cause trouble.
Because they're because nobody in that protest caused any trouble. They just were very, very peaceful, just like every other one. We were very, wow. I heard the villages.
Oh, yeah.
They've changed too.
Oh yeah. And
Some of them. Anyway.
when you lose the villages,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yep.
that's it.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that you did that. Thanks everybody. This is really good. I mean, we could do readings, but I'd rather do this, and we got about 10 minutes left. So thank you. I love interactive talking like this. This is something we don't do enough. I'm not mindful to be aware of if I'm not mindful to be aware of the little things, the tiny sparks of magic that can sometimes be hard to notice, I can be overcome. When I'm mindful, more shows up. That's right. That's absolutely right. I find that with, I live in the woods here, and I look out I have a window that's to the road, and every once in a while, a deer meanders by. And sometimes I leave the blind shut, and every morning I say to myself, don't forget the little things that show up, because they do. Birds landing, things like that, So I love that. Sorry if I double up on the hellos. You need coffee. Oh, Dr. Ann, you're fine. Friends of mine who have passed over have been coming to me in my dreams.
I think with the energy we're going through right now, we are receiving a lot of guidance, a lot of comfort from those of our soul family that have already crossed over. They're with us.
I agree. I think that my parents lived through World War II. My brother was a Vietnam vet. My other brother stood on a ship as a Marine out in Bikini Atoll while they let off a atomic weapon, and they were all standing on the deck of the health problems so bad, and they're all here to support us. They're saying, you signed up for this, and I'm behind you. I went through my own shade of hell, so, not that they want us to go through that, because I know they don't. Anita, just as Debbie said, if you could, for instance, if you put it in your mind, and then you hear other people talking about their dreams, like on the dream show, you eventually will begin to remember things, even if it's bits and pieces. My friend doesn't remember a lot of her dreams, but she one time remembered part of a dream that was about a fireplace and some other things. And we were able to figure out what it meant and give her some kind of an idea. So just ask for it, sweetheart. Yeah, maybe it will begin to come in. Oh, yeah, Dr. Ann, it's getting so hot. It's hard to use the oven. She's down in Australia, and they're getting into summer there. So, yeah. Oh, there you go. Cornbread dressing and cranberry sauce. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving, Debbie?
We always gather at my little brother's house.
Okay.
As far as I know, that's what we're going to be doing this year.
He's in Florida?
Yeah. I usually am the one that provides the turkey, so.
Okay. Well, I bring I can never not have the green bean casserole, because, of course, my mother found that in Women's Day back in 1967. And we started making it, so now everybody has to have it, but I love it. Yeah, it's wonderful. Donna Ortiz, did anyone with gifts at some point in their life feel like they were being watched?
Oh, yeah.
But you felt it was good energy?
For me, yeah, I wasn't scared.
You weren't scared? No.
No. So.
No. And you can ask for that, Donna. You can say that you only want those with the highest vibration and love to come to you, and that you have the power to tell anyone that's of not, with a bad juju or whatever, or bad reason to be there, that they must go, and you can send them away anytime.
Now I take that back. There was one time when I was little, and I learned not to call out to my parents because nobody could see the things I saw. So it was, just getting in trouble. But there used to be 3 hooded figures that would stand at the edge of my bed and watch me sleep. And I did not like that.
No, well, I would think of a hooded figure as being like a death figure, you know, because you couldn't see their face or anything. So did they eventually, you send them away, or did they just eventually go away?
They eventually went away. I learned to just sleep in the middle of the bed because I didn't want to touch any of the edges. And so I pushed my bed against the wall and I would sleep that way. And I would just learn to sleep with the cup with my sheet over my head. It's like, if I
Wow.
can't watch
Wow.
you won't bother
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I had a little bit of fear in my bedroom when I was my brothers had that bedroom. I was in a real small one. They left and went in the Marines and all this, and I got their bedroom, and they made it into a little girl's bedroom. But there was something in there that kept me awake a lot of the time. And I had like 300 stuffed animals around me. I mean, I was the stuffed animal queen. And when one fell off the bed, I didn't like it at all. I thought, oh my God, were they going into the abyss? And then I remember watching either One Step Beyond or the Twilight Zone part of it.
I love those.
Well, this man had a doorway to another dimension under his bed.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was time to go to bed. So I went to bed and I'm like, what if I fall into the other dimension? I mean, I was very scared. And, you know, my father kept saying, that's just a TV show, honey. I mean, he was very good about it. If I had seen something, he would have, because I had a invisible friend for probably 7 or 8 years named Billy that was around me all the time. And Diana hears from him all the time when I brought his name up. She hears, Billy, 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 Billy. Oh, God. Let's see. Everyone's getting hungry for cornbread dressing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really, J. Cat Lady? Your uncle was on one of those ships? I bet. It was awful. And you know what they did? All the men were standing on the ship, and then they went to detonate the atomic bomb, and they said everybody needs to turn around because they didn't want them to see the flash, you know? And then as soon as the flash went away, they said, okay, you can watch it now, as it's all raining down on top of them. Yeah.
They purposely did a lot of the testing near a town, and then they had military doctors move into that town so that they could test that whole town, the children and everybody, and what the effects would be. Yeah, it was a bad, dark time in history.
It was bad. Well, of course, they did the same thing. They made in Nevada, they have show people on benches you know, they're watching it. I don't know whatever happened to those people, but they were
did it near a school.
Oh, God.
That's where they had the doctors, military doctors, move into the town to replace the other doctors so that they could start. The whole town was test subjects.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Yeah. Well, I know they do that. They did that. They also did that with the syphilis thing. Of course, there's some dark days that, you know, we've all been through. You've had weird things in your room when your brother went into the Navy. You moved. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? That's interesting, Anita. It's like maybe their spirit came back and said, well, you got my room now. Shit, you know? Yeah. Anyway. All right. He was not in the Navy. He was in some secret whatever. Oh, he was on the bridge of the ship. Yeah. Okay. You've had a lot of dreams about swimming the breaststroke in the air, Barbara? Wow. That sounds very interesting. Sarah had 2 men in top hats and suits, one tall and one skinny, one short, a stout one with a stare from the doorway. That sounds like Men in Black, doesn't it?
I don't know, the top hats.
Yeah. Could be a lifetime in 30s, 20s. I don't know. Robert Moss's books? No, I haven't. I'll have to check into that. Thank you. Dr. Ann, you remember flying out of your body and above your house? Woo! There you go.
Oh, those were fun. I used to do that when I was little before my grandmother caught me. I loved leaving my body. It was most.
Oh, I remember flying, and it is I've not been able to do it for a long time. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That makes sense, Rusty. Yeah. Weird things started happening in his room. Hi, Maura. Oh, yeah. Lincoln Arrowhead top. Oh, it's one of those. I was thinking the rounded ones. That's why. Yes,
Yeah, I was
Lincoln.
thinking the top
The
one.
taller ones, the Lincoln ones. Oh, well, that makes more sense. Yeah. Could have been Sarah. Sarah's very, very open. And some of you are saying that you did ask them to move away or leave. That's good. I have never had that. Although one night I do remember in Florida, I lived in Panama City, and my husband at the time was gone, and my kids were either there and sleeping or not, maybe gone for the summer. I can't remember. But I remember thinking there were little aliens all around my bed, but I was dreaming. So I thought, oh, it was just a dream. Now, whether it was true or not, I don't know. Yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me because I've seen a ship before. So wouldn't surprise you. Oh, good, Mousy. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Yes, Pam, I'll let Pam know. Good. I'll make sure to send you the link. Thank you. Yeah, anybody that that decides to come in to the show with Pam and me on Zoom, I'll send you the Zoom link once you make a small donation to her, and you could or send it to me and I'll send it along to her. That's fine. No, nothing's wrong with Pam. She's doing the inner child workshop where she helps us go in. She's going to hypnotize us, and then she's going to do a clearing. And it's Monday, 12 to 2 on Pacific, 3 to 5 Eastern. Yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah, I know, me either. It doesn't surprise me if I am to an experiencer. This has been so much fun. You know, I don't mind ever doing readings for people, but this is much more fun. I think it's much more fun. And to have people so interested and wanting to know and asking questions. And yeah. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Rossi. Thanks, Rossi. I'll put you down and make sure I send you the link. All right. So Debbie and I are going to set something up in January. I'm going to bring her on the Dream Show too. And thank you for telling us. And I know you have more stories, and I could listen to them all. But yeah, it's so much fun. It really is. And it's nice to hear what other people have gone through to get where they are. So thank you for being here, my dear.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
Thank y'all for showing up.
Yeah. Oh, one thing. When you were jiggling Tiny and your dad, I came home one night to sleep, and there were 3 translucent grays in your room in the middle of the night. It showed 3:15 on the clock. You always wondered about it. Oh, juggling Tony and your dad. Yeah, her fiance was sick and her dad was sick, and she was going back and forth and back and forth. They were telling you they were there to support you, I think, sweetheart. Yeah. And they may have always been there, but at 3:15, the veil is thin and you were awake. Anyway. All right, Donna, I'll put your name. Thank you. I was worried we weren't going to be able to do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you, Aley.
Yep. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.